Good morning, everyone. This is Becky Welzenbach, your Research Impact Librarian. Hope you're all doing well. I am making this video, which is the first of a series that will take you through all of the activities in our annual Research Impact Challenge. You can do these on your own at any time, but I thought it might be fun and helpful to have quick videos to walk you through each one. This activity will take you through the day one activity, which is about registering your ORCiD and associating it with your University of Michigan identity so that your credentials and your ORCiD identifier are tied to one another. Let me share my screen and show you the steps to do this. And I'll also show you the guide where you can find this information for yourself. Step one, find the share screen button. There she is. Okay, so the Research Impact Guide, Research Impact Challenge Guide, you can find here, guides.lib.umich.edu. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video as well. And as you'll see over on the left, there are 10 days worth of activities. And the first one is register your ORCiD. So what is an ORCiD? ORCiD is a nonprofit organization. It consists of member institutions, all academic institutions. So this is not owned by a company like the Scopus ID. It's also not something just sort of floating out there in space that we at U of M made up or that some individual invented. It's an organization that many academic institutions have agreed to sort of endorse and use, and U of M is one of those members. Your ORCiD is a 16-digit identifier. It looks like this. And this number can be associated with your research identity at U of M, but also it can follow you throughout your career. So you can have one ORCiD that you use as a graduate student, as a postdoc, as a researcher, as a faculty member, whatever. It will remain the same, and this helps to ensure that your work, as it's identified online, whether through a database like Scopus or Web of Science, or your Google Scholar profile, or some other kind of system, can clearly and unambiguously match it to you and not somebody else with your name. It can also help if your name changes over the course of your life, making sure that all of that research gets associated with you as an individual, regardless of what your name might be at any given time. If you come to the guide and look, you'll see there's a link to another research guide just about ORCiD. My colleague Merle made this one, and it will tell you everything you need to know about ORCiD. What I want to show you right now is how to go through this process. All the links you need are inside the guide here, but let's just walk through it together. The way that I recommend doing this is to go to this page, the Open Researcher Identifier Management page. This is a U of M page. And what it will do is allow you to connect your U of M credentials to your ORCiD so that you don't have to create a new account with a new password and all of that stuff and then forget how to log in later. You simply click on, I thought this button was a live link. It is. It doesn't look like one, but it is. And then you will log in with your regular Kerberos credentials. Whoops, helps if you remember your password. Never do these things live. Come on. We can do it. There we go. Two-factor auth, of course. And what this is going to do is take me to the ORCiD page. You want to choose institutional account. Now, I've done this before, so it might look a little bit different for you just as you go through it, because I've already registered mine, but the steps should more or less look the same. You look for University of Michigan. If you're already on campus doing this, it may sort of recognize that and give you a University of Michigan prompt. But if you're at home, as we all are these days, you may have to type it in from that list. Okay, so it logged me in and I get this success message. The ORCiD ID was successfully entered into mCommunity. This also means that now when I go to ORCiD, okay, so right now I'm already signed in, but let me log out and show you. I'll be able to sign in using my University of Michigan credentials. Sign in, institutional account. It's suggesting University of Michigan for me. and it's going to push me through that login process. I've already logged in, so it's able to tell that. Once you're into ORCiD, your profile looks like this. Oh, you will be prompted, I should have shown you, I've already done this before, but you will be prompted to grant permission for ORCiD and University of Michigan information systems to talk to one another. So you'll see a page that looks like this, information release, and you'll have to confirm. It's basically allowing the U of M systems to push your email address and your affiliation with University of Michigan to the ORCiD profile. And then your process should look like what I showed you. Once you get into your profile, it looks like this. If you've never done anything with ORCiD before, you will see very little here. You'll have your name, an identifier, and some indicator of your University of Michigan status over here. You will notice that also because it comes from the University of Michigan, it says preferred source here. So that is sort of like indicating that ORCiD didn't get that information from somewhere else. It's not made up. It's authorized and sort of official. I have lots of entries here. That's because I've been working at U of M for a long time and my job has changed over time. So I have modified these to indicate exactly which role I've been in under which dates, so that this functions almost like an up-to-date resume for me. What will come from the U of M website at first will just say University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and just have that up here under employment. Education, you can fill out your degrees here. And then there are lots of places where you can modify information to keep this profile to be sort of a full reflection of your ongoing work, whether it be funding or publications. There are a number of ways to do this. If you want to add things to your profile, you can either do it manually, meaning you type in what your project is or where the funding is coming from, but there are also lots of connections between ORCiD and other systems. So you can search for a funding agency and it will come up with a grant for you and sort of automatically connect it. You can look for yourself by name. I'll try myself. So there's an NEH grant that I was part of a few years ago. And then you can confirm that it's yours and submit it and it will automatically be affiliated with your profile. You can do the same with publications. If you add works, you have the choice to search and link. That will let you look through different databases like Scopus and Crossref to find your publications. Or you could add a DOI or a PubMed ID, or you could import your own bibliography. And of course, you can add things manually. Lots of stuff here. Yeah, so that is an overview of your ORCiD profile. Again, reasons you might want this are increasingly grant applications are asking you to have an ORCiD. A publisher might ask you to have an ORCiD when you submit a manuscript. It's just a really useful thing to have, especially if you feel that you might be moving around from place to place. Many institutions might have a repository where you can store your works, that kind of thing. But once you leave that place and go somewhere else, it might be difficult to maintain that consistent record going forward. So this has been our first day. Congratulations, you've done it. Remember to check back at this guide for more details and some suggestions about what to do next. And I hope you'll join me for our next video tomorrow. Maybe I'll be even smoother than today, where we'll be focusing on claiming your Google Scholar profile. That's all. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Take care. Be safe. Ooh, I have no hand. Neat. Talk to you later. Bye.